Let's smash the system. Kerblam! I thought this week's episode was quite mysterious. There was quite a lot of build-up, quite a slow build-up to finding out what on earth was really going on, why these people were going missing. I used to be a union activist, so I was a little bit disappointed that it was some rogue worker. Well, he turned out to be a terrorist, which is obviously terrible. But I did like the way that the group split up early in this episode, and they all had something to do. It wasn't quite so bad. Graham was off and away in maintenance for quite a while before we really got to see what he was up to. But he's by far my favourite character in the whole series so far. And obviously you had these spooky robots as well. Doctor Who and spooky robots go well together. Always works well, always nice to see.
Welcome to Kerblam.
Kerblam's the biggest retailer in this galaxy.
This came to me in a delivery.
A man is missing, and I don't think he's the first. I might start to suspect that you're responsible.
Obviously you had what seemed at first to be really bad managers, and very suspicious ones as well. Looked like they were going to be the ones to be at blame rather than this rogue worker. A rogue worker in a warehouse factory with bad managers. I'm not at all sure, and delivery service. I'm not at all sure what we were supposed to think of there. Anyway, and I kind of thought that it would be the system that was at fault. I'm very disappointed that it wasn't, because it is really. It needs to be sorted out. So let's change the system next time. Hey Doc, we're allowed to call her Doc now. Graham does, so I don't see why we shouldn't. It was really good to see Bubble Wrap in Doctor Who. Bubble Wrap is back, and as a kind of, and as Bubble Wrap rather than just part of a monster like it was back in the Ark in Space. That's classic serial mention for this week. Brilliant story. But today's, I thought, was a little bit kind of middling. It was okay, not terrible, not brilliant. But what it shows us is, once again, once you get into the middle of a series of Doctor Who, is that you start to see what kind of different things it can do week from week. I mean, it's such a different episode from last week's, and next week's again looks like it's going to be very different again. And we're starting to get some interesting news about what the final 2 episodes are going to be about. The final episode looks really interesting, and I'm starting to wonder whether it's going to tie some of the themes up that we've seen over the course of the last few weeks, whether there is actually an overarching arc to this series, or whether it's all separate. And of course we now know that there's going to be no Christmas Day special, but the festive special is going to be on New Year's Day. So we've got some things to look forward to. But today I thought it was just a solid, fairly good story. Nothing to shout about, but nothing to really complain about. Although I wish they brought out a bit more of the trade union stuff and attack the system rather than just a worker. That would have been much more worthwhile, I think.